Redick. Luke Kennard sure does. As we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Allie Clifton alongside Derek Fisher, Robert Ory, Mike Trudell, handling the fun happening in Orlando right now. The good times, they keep on rolling for the Lakers, who have now won their 9th straight. They are 22-6 now in the clutch, guys. They've won 12 of their last 13, not to mention are 4-0 on this current 6-game road trip. Derek, I'll start with you. Biggest takeaway out of this one?
I mean, so many takeaways. We got a full hour. We'll get to the other ones. You know, the basketball gods are real. They really are. And sometimes when you're not bringing the right spirit and there are a lot of different things pulling on the team, the basketball gods don't work in your favor. But this team, with the role that they're on, a lot of the points that Rob mentioned pregame, about their connection, their chemistry, their camaraderie, they're enjoying playing basketball together. Good things just start happening, even though you need some luck, you need the ball to bounce your way, you need a...
Meant to be. And you think about how this team started this game out rolling, and then Orlando's bitch came in and put them up, and then all these other things happened, and then you look at the plus minuses, and you say, okay, all the starters for the Lakers were positive. All the starters for the Orlando Magic were negative. And why was this game so close? It's because of the bench. And I think because they had, I think they had 9 3-pointers in the first half. They only allowed Orlando 2. So it's the little things that allowed them to climb back in this game, but more importantly, believe in themselves, and that's what happened down the stretch.
We obviously have to go to that final possession there for Luke Kennard, and I think, too, back-to-back incredible ATO possessions, which makes a head coach very happy, I'm sure, if you're J.J. Redick in this moment. But as 2 clutch shooters yourselves, I mean, heck, that is your nickname, right? What does that take? What's that moment like for Luke, especially the newest Laker? Hasn't been here long. You
know, when you're a shoot, and you think about Luke Kennard, he's one of the best shooters in the NBA, and you stand out there wide open, and there's no other choice but to knock that down. I think for him, that's probably the best shot and the cleanest shot he's had in a long time. Look how wide open he is. He could have ate a sandwich before they got out there. And I think for him, being that is a vote of confidence, because you think about, he just said in his interview, he hadn't been shooting it all that well. But when you're able to knock down a shot like this in a big moment to keep your streak alive, the biggest thing out of this, not the dub, is the confidence that he just built. Even though he's a confident shooter, but just sometimes when you make shots
and confidence by the guys down the stretch.
You know what I like best out of the happiest guy is the oldest guy. You see it in those videos right there. I don't think LeBron wanted to let him go. He was just hugging. That shows you how the passion and the love he has for this game. You know, you can see some people at this moment and say, oh, okay, I hug you once, let's go to the locker room. But he's still like that. That's the child joy he has for this game. And I love seeing things like that.
He's choosing to stay in the moment with everything, even when he's on the golf course, staring a gator down. I don't know if you guys saw that video. That was just from yesterday. I do want to say this really quick because J.J. Redick has sat down, but I heard you guys talking in the pregame, and you mentioned body language and what you're seeing, especially during this stretch. It's one thing to be on this streak and experience the winning and the magic that they are right now, but for a player like Luke Kennard, who you know you're going to need if you want to go places when it matters most in the postseason, for this team to see that kind of celebration and reaction, what does it tell you moving forward about the position that they're in right now?
That there is trust within the group, you know, a willingness to just make the right basketball play. It's something that the coaching staff focuses on daily. They talk about it daily, and they've played the game that way. Yeah, Luke Kennard in that situation is wide open. Marcus does have to throw it to him, but if LeBron had been driving the basketball and 2 guys were on him, he would have thrown a hook pass back to Luke Kennard for that shot as well. It's very similar to the pass LeBron made to Rui in the corner in Toronto when he could have gone for the double-digit streak. And so all season long, in these moments, they've just tried to make the right basketball play that's needed for the team. And that trust, even sometimes when things don't work out or the ball doesn't go in, the trust is what will take them into April, May, and June, because they've been building on that all season.
You know, sometimes when you sit in the second chair and someone takes your word, because I was going to say trust, too. That's the first thing that came to my mind. The trust that they have in one another, the belief that they're going to make the shot. So I can't say anymore because he took what I was going to say. You got to trust everybody on your team. If you don't trust them, it shows. And because you think about, I'm going to take, and I see you open, Allie, I can feel the distrust if I don't kick it to you. But if I kick it to you and you miss it or make it, and I still like, That's the trust that they have. And I think that's what the Lakers have now, that trust.
You know why you guys were so aligned? Because I asked a question about winning. And how many rings do you have between the two of you?
12. Rob got 7.
You just get it. Thanks for doing the math. Rob's got 7. He reminds us a lot.
No,
We're going to head back to Orlando. Orlando, it's time to hear from Coach JJ Redick. It's brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, just first on the final shot, you had the view kind of right in line from where Luke's shot was. Just the emotions of it all, seeing the ball go up in the air, and how the ball got into his hands based on what you were looking at to draw up out of the timeout.
Yeah. So down 2, and we get LeBron open. We actually just challenged this call in our last game, and the ball got initially hit, but then if LeBron still has possession of the ball and then gets fouled across the arm, that's considered a foul because we challenged that. We lost that challenge. So again, another night where explanations just get changed based on a whim. We had to overcome a lot tonight, and by that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Greg St. Jean drew up the baseline out of bounds play. We were looking at LeBron as sort of the wide open. As soon as he caught it and released it, we knew it was in. We all had that perfect angle. It was whatever the highest grade on Noah is. It would have been that.
We had that conversation a couple weeks ago about how many shots Luke makes in an empty gym, right? And there's probably nobody in the world, right, who's going to knock down more than those. Even he said 1 or 2 more than you. How do you feel for him getting that moment now after all the moments on this road trip from other guys?
I'm really happy for him. I really am. Him and I had a great conversation this morning. He wants it so bad. He wants to help this team, and I think it's hard getting traded midseason. I've talked about it so many times, and sometimes you get in an early rhythm, and then sometimes you get out of that rhythm. And he, all night was just really, really good for us, and deserved that opportunity and all the work. That's a money shot for him.
JJ, without addressing the specifics of what you're talking about in terms of overcoming a lot, generally speaking, your team at times this year has been pretty affected by officiating. Just how
I didn't say officiating.
Your team has been affected by exterior things they cannot control in games?
External situations.
Yeah, sure. Just in terms of growth and poise, how good of a test was this for your team tonight? And just how did you see them come through?
Yeah, I thought we've had a number of things happen in the last couple of weeks. We've had a number of things happen on this road trip that has shown growth for our group. We did a good job of just playing through stuff, whether it was some cold shooting, some hot shooting from them for a little stretch there, getting down, playing on the road. Again, the external circumstances of whatever tonight was, and not allowing that to get us off our game. Truly, we just kept playing. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it in huddles. One of the weirdest games I've been a part of in that regard.
Jay, did you guys get any explanation from the officials on the technical for Luka?
No, but we'll obviously try to get that rescinded. I'm not sure what happened. I do know that there were certain things said in a language that the referees couldn't understand in references to Luka's mom, and I think they just. Austin gets targeted 3 times by Carter. They didn't have a real good control of that basketball game.
And the win streak's now at 9, and you guys done it in a variety of ways, but have the same end result. What's this felt like to ride this wave at this stage of the season?
Man, that's a good question. Every stage of the season is exhausting for different reasons. This week has obviously been a lot in terms of the intensity, the preparation, the travel. Our first 2-day break in between games, not counting All-Star break since December 27th, an opportunity to practice, which is exciting. It's all felt it's all felt, I think, rewarding to see the growth for the group. But it's on to the next thing. There's a lot we can get better at from tonight. There's a lot we can get better at from Miami. I do think growth-wise, I thought our defense in the second half was on par with where we needed to be. But yeah, it's all kind of blends together, and you got to enjoy the good moments.
You know, it's really good when you don't have to talk about the situation going on with Luka Doncic right now regarding picking up his 16th technical foul in this game, which according to league policy means he will be suspended for the next game played, which would be versus Detroit on Monday. However, JJ just mentioned they'll try and figure out to see if they can get that rescinded. If not, nonetheless, obviously that's a situation that's on their hands right now if he does miss. But you did mention, 12 million points in the last 48 hours for Luka. He is at 133 over the last 72. So despite he had himself a performance, obviously got going early, but you got to factor in the situation and the facts that are at hand right now.
Yes, and you know, the reacting is always going to get you in trouble, right? There's a way to respond to what, something that is said or something that is done that may be disrespectful to you or your family, etc. And, if you're aware of the circumstances, you have a choice to make. Mm-hmm. He made the choice to react in the moment. They can win the game without him, to be honest. If he doesn't play on Monday night, that's just the reality of it because of the situation that they're in. The Pistons won't have Cade Cunningham. The Lakers have enough on their roster to still get it done. And then you just move on to the next game, and you don't overthink it. They'll go through their process of trying to see if they can get it rescinded, but it is what it is at this point.
I want to see him get it rescinded, not just the fact that Luka's on the roll, but I'm thinking more for him and the role he is as far as MVP. This is one of the key games, especially going up against Detroit, who's, the top team in the East. And that performance against them is going to make, the voters look up and say, oh, even though there's no Cade Cunningham, but I'm still, sometimes they don't watch. They just look at Detroit beat by Lakers and, oh, Luka had 60 points. And for me, that's the one thing that I hope it gets rescinded and Luka understands that it hits home for him. Like, I can't put myself in that position. You can say whatever you want about my family, my daughter, my whatever it is, you got to understand, those are just words. Words aren't going to bother you, but getting that L on him is going to bother him more than those words. So I think that's what this situation can put Luka in the mindset like, oh, I got to be more presence of mind not to get out of my character and be better.
Yeah, because two things. One, once I know that about you, there's going to be somebody in the playoffs that'll do the same thing to get you to react, if that's what it takes to get you a technical or your fifth foul or whatever, sixth foul, whatever the situation may be. Secondly, when the NBA does go through the process of determining whether to rescind it or not, they're going to talk to the big guy, Bataze, and get a statement from him, ask him what he said, make sure that everything is known, the facts. And depending on what he said, if he tells the truth, or they may ask other players that were within earshot of the conversation, they're going to talk to the referees about what they may have heard. It's possible it is rescinded if they feel like what was said was derogatory enough or negative enough that a player should have a little bit of leeway to say something back.
But I always laugh because I've watched certain players, I ain't gonna call them name, Draymond Green, that says things to the refs and they let it slide. But when you say things to another player and there's no pushing or shoving, you want to call it double take on the players. Stop taking money out of the players' pockets by calling that. And when you let another guy just talk to you like directly to you, crazy. That doesn't register in my mind sometimes, Allie. I know I ain't the smartest guy, but that right there
was one time
don't make sense.
that it was given, and it costed him a pretty big playoff game from the Ohio girl herself. Nonetheless, something we'll keep an eye on as Luka did pick up, as it stands right now, his 16th technical foul of the regular season. Let's get you to Orlando. Check out the highlight of this one. It was
took the defense with him, and great pass by Marcus Smart. Like, I'm wide open over here.
Speaking of LeBron, he is now speaking with Mike Trudell in the media.
Well, quite a sequence of events there. And the first inbounds pass, you getting it, and the no call, and then getting possession back with Paolo. And how that ending up with a wide open three for Luka Kennard. Can you just kind of take me through the swings there?
As I was supposed to go. Missed call, and obvious missed call. They missed the call, and I mean, turned out the best for us. We was able to hit a three. Great play calls by Coach St. Jean. JJ drew him up on the board, and we followed him to a T. Marcus made all the reads, and obviously Luke nailed it.
Can you just take me through kind of the exact things that you're doing in a play like that, and then once the ball actually gets to Luke, just kind of the confidence that you have that it's going through?
We got a lot of action going on simultaneously, and once we had the movement going, then my job is to try to, make a hard dive at the rim, and hopefully I can, take my grasp. So hopefully my move to the rim can pull gravity towards it, and it did. And it did. A couple guys went with me, and it left Luke wide open. One of the best shooters in the NBA, so just try to do my job.
So you kind of turn around, right? Once you know that the job is done, where the ball is in his hands, and does elation hit right away? Do you wait till it switches through the net? You still have they could throw the ball down court, whatever.
When I turned and saw who the ball was in his hands on a wide open three, I pretty much knew it was cash. But obviously you got to see it go through, and obviously I had a super quick reaction right after it, and I knew they had no timeout, so we had to get back on defense and at least get a hand up, and I think that was Luka against Luka or AR on Suggs, and was able to win the game.
You guys continue to have a lead record in clutch time situations. What's the feeling like, the shared feeling, I guess, when you need to make plays down the stretch, knowing that as a group you've done that so many times throughout the season?
Just a sense of calmness. There's no pressure.
You've done this 1,112 times as of today. I know you stand the moment on these types of things, but you had to know, like, you're prepping tonight to play the most regular season games of anybody. What was that like?
It was a regular prep day. I mean, I kept it, the same as the previous, whatever, 1,600, whatever the record is. But I knew, once I stepped on the floor and the game began, that I was breaking the record, and that's a pretty cool thing. I said it the other night. The best thing you can have for your teammates is availability, and I've tried to be available throughout my career, 2 decades plus, to my guys, and that's just a byproduct of it.
Did it feel fitting that your first bucket was like one of the plays you're probably most known for?
A steal and a dunk? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. It was very fitting.
Luka Doncic with his 9th straight 30
in a row for free tacos. You got to walk that off.
You said sunshine and water.
Yeah, it's sunscreen. It's hot out there. It's hot.
God. Are we going back to Austin Reeves with Mike Trudell in the media? I think we are.
Speaking of sunscreen,
Austin, there have been various moments where different guys have gotten that kind of being mobbed, right? Like you in Minnesota early in the season, Luka in Miami, other times as well. But Luke tonight, what's it like seeing a teammate who kind of hasn't had that moment yet have it and kind of come through for the team in this context?
Oh wow, that was probably the happiest I've been in a long time. It's just a big shot. He's one of the best shooters in the league, but I think a lot of people will look at it and be like, oh, he's wide open, he's supposed to, make it. But, in that situation, I don't know how many shots he shot tonight. I know he made 2 threes in the first half, but to knock that down with confidence and give us the win is huge.
The play itself, so I think before LeBron had gotten behind the defense and then he kind of crashed towards the rim, did you feel like Orlando reacted to that and then Marcus made the read? And what was your kind of perspective on the play?
I just told the coaches. I had G draw up the last play again because sometimes most of the time in those situations, I get so fixated on my job that I don't even really know what happened. So I was just trying not to mess it up on my part. So I ran over there and I had 1 foot off the ground and Jalen Suggs barely touched me and I'd fall on accident. And then after that, I just seen the pass go to him and obviously made a big shot.
What goes through your head when you look and see who has the ball in his hands and wide open in the wing like that?
Please go in. I don't know. Very confident with, not just him, but anybody shooting a shot in that situation. But like I said, he's one of the best shooters in the league. And, got a good look. And obviously, once he let it go, it looked good. And then I'm pretty sure it was all net.
Austin, this team has won 9 straight games. 8, I think, are against teams with winning records. Just what's the feeling right now as a group, confidence-wise, when you guys take the court together?
Good. We've done we've done it in different ways. We've won ugly games where it wasn't great offensively. Won it with our defense, and then we've dominated some games offensively. We dominated some games offensively, but just getting a rhythm, playing alongside one another, having fun, and getting wins.
Speaking of that, we talked about Luka obviously finishing with 33, but 24 of those came in the first half. He was just 2 of 13 in the second, Luka was, as he finished with 33. Fish, but as Austin just referred, he had 26. And the rhythm he and Luka have been in as of late, that's just kind of one of those moments where, maybe Luka is struggling, but Austin there to kind of pick it up in the second.
Yeah,
he was able to.
Luka's degree of difficulty in some of his shot making, even when he's playing well, and shooting the ball well, like he takes really difficult shots. So there are going to be nights or halves in a game where those shots aren't falling consistently. And so Austin's ability to pick up the offensive, it's why this team is, they're playing a balanced style of basketball, even though Luka's been the trendsetter with his scoring. They play basketball in a way that allows a bunch of guys to be involved, and that's the best way to play.
One thing that I noticed about Luka is sometimes he takes a shot. He's so good that he can make the shot, but sometimes he take it because he'll see that, oh, my guy has a chance to get an offensive rebound. And I'm like, he took that shot because he knew DeAndre Ayton was in the position of offensive rebound. And that's to show you how smart he is as a player. He said, okay, this degree of difficulty might be a 5 or 10, but I know if I make it, all good. If I miss it, it's all good. And so that's one of the things about him that I've been noticing on the low, that he takes a lot of shots because he knows he has that opportunity to get offensive rebound.
On the low, that's a lyric. Name that tune. We're going to break, though. Welcome to the Lake Show. Luke Kennard win over the Wizards. The Rockets take care of the Heat by 1. Hornets doing their thing. Hawks take down the Warriors. Clippers over the Mavs. Spurs handling the Pacers. Luka Doncic speaking at the podium.
Luka, can you first just kind of take us through the emotions of when you see a teammate come through like that, the ball's in the air, you got mobbed in Miami, and to be able to kind of go do that for Luke, it was, been trying to have a moment like that.
It was pretty awesome. I saw Smart under the basket, saying it's good. So he looks one of the best shooters in the NBA. So we had the whole confidence in him. It was a lot of guys that made a great play. LeBron with the cut to make him open, Smart with the pass. So it was beautiful to see.
Certain things that didn't go your way as a team tonight, whether it was certain calls or just the way that the ball bounced. How do you feel then seeing the ball go in and 9 straight wins and just kind of continuing the momentum you've had?
It was pretty impressive. I think I played terrible. The team, I think we didn't play good, and we still to come down to the last minute away game to win this game was pretty impressive.
Luka, you said you didn't play good in this game as a team. You've won a lot of games in different ways. What do you think impresses you the most about this winning streak and the way you guys have put this together?
I honestly think just the chemistry, the chemistry we have on the court. There's some time, we struggle to score, we struggle to defend, and we just come up with things that, good teams do. And I would say the chemistry is at the top. We're trusting each other, and that's awesome to see.
Luka, going back to the Orlando loss, that was a last-minute play that didn't go your guys' way. How do you think the team has grown since that game, and kind of bookending it from then to now? How do you think you guys have grown?
I think we're in a way better spot. I think we're fighting, we're putting the effort in. Like I said today, I don't think we play good. We still come up with a win in the away game. But since then, this 9-game streak has been awesome. We all enjoy it. I think we're all having fun in the court, and that's awesome.
Luka, I know you've been really focused on not picking up that 16 technical. You got called for one tonight for talking to Goga. Just what happened there, and are you hopeful in some ways that you'll be able to play on Monday?
I'm definitely hoping. Obviously, I let my team down. Getting that last stack. But honestly, I wasn't trying to. He set it free. and at some point, this is basketball court. At some point, I just can't stand. I got to stand up for myself. But I know I got to do better. My teammates, I know they have my back, so I let them down today. But I hopefully get rescinded.
The rest in here, what language did you say?
It was in Serbian.
Oh, wait, that's the last one. You're done? All right. Thank you.
So we've now heard, obviously, what was exchanged out on the floor. Your thoughts there?
Well, he said it best. He said he has to control his emotion. He does, because you don't want to get that rep of people can get you to get off your game by saying things to you, everything to try to get you off your kilter. And sometimes you try that and it backfires and it lights a fire. And sometimes, I think in Luka's case, it lights a fire on him. But I think in this case, it kind of bothered him because he didn't shoot it that well after this moment. And so I think, all some other stuff that's going on that sometimes you, as players, you got to stand up for yourself. You just can't let someone, as we would say, talk crazy to you, Allie. You can't let that happen.
Ditto. I mean, it's just there are moments, right, where, yes, you're responsible for your ability to manage how you respond and react. You don't want to put yourself or your team in a bad spot. But these are adult men. And there are times where, yes, you're trying to maintain the fact you're an NBA player, but you're also a person, a human being first. Like, your job is to play basketball, even though it's not really a job, it's what you truly love to do. But you're a human being first. And so there are times where it impacts you as a human at a level that you do respond or react in a way that you're maybe not proud of in the moment, but you still have to do it.
Which is what Luka said he did. Though he hopes to have that rescinded before the game on Monday. Still to come on Access, there's a new all-time leader in games played. That's another fact about
credit to the guys for executing down the stretch there. Thought we got two really good plays. One we thought Braun might have got fouled on, but we had another opportunity, and Smart made a good read, found the open guy, and I was able to knock it down. But no, it feels good. Just being part of a new team, obviously you build new relationships, trying to find your role, what you do. But they brought me here for a reason, and that was to shoot, and it feels good. It feels good the way that everybody reacted. Obviously, we've had a really good stretch of games, so the win was the most important thing, but definitely felt good.
Luke, first, can you kind of...
Hard not to feel good after this one. The Lakers have won 9 in a row. They are winners of 12 of their last 13, and you want to see it continue. Rob, we got about 30 seconds.
Yes, you do. You think about who they're going to play next. They're going to play Detroit, and that's going to be, I know they don't have Cade Cunningham, but still, though, that's one of those games you want to go in and get and establish it, because who knows? You might meet them again.
Should be fun. I mean, the Pistons, their style of play isn't tied to Cade Cunningham specifically. Like, they're going to play physical. It'll be a similar game as this game tonight, like hard playing. Everything's going to be a battle. See if the Lakers have the energy to pull it off.
And we will see you all Monday to talk about it. The Lakers.
Let Luka play.
Game 5.
Let Luka play.
Their 6-game road trip.
Let Luka
continue.
play.